Facing me.
You're live.
Welcome to this live edition of the Sewing Report. I'm Jennifer Moore, helping you discover your love of sewing. Wanted to do these shows every Sunday to kind of chat with you guys and share some of my favorite sewing products, some of my favorite patterns. So in this week's edition, we're going to be going over some must-have sewing items that honestly I use all the time, can't live without. So let's jump right in. So I've been lately making a lot of clothing. So I bought some new items to add to my pressing station, and they've been really helpful. And they are the Dritz Clothing Care Seam Roll and also the Dritz Tailor's Ham. And these items are great. They're pretty affordable. These are both under 10 bucks. And you can use these when you are pressing items of clothing that are not flat. Like sleeves, perfect for this. And you don't have to worry about your iron getting to the bottom layer. You can press each individual, you can press it in the round so that you get a better press. And the Tailor's Ham is great because you can do like bust darts and you can do like anything that's curved and it will keep the curve. And these are two-sided, so this side is wool and it's actually for more delicate fabrics, anything that you have an iron on a low setting for. The white side is cotton, and this is for any natural fibers like cotton, linen, anything where you have a high setting on your iron. So I've been using these quite a bit, love them, and I think they're a great addition to your sewing arsenal. Okay, the next items, I do a lot of glue basting. I started off doing it with quilting, but I have found that you can also do it with clothing. I use Elmer's washable school glue, and this is great if you're, the good thing about Elmer's washable school glue is that it is starch. So it will wash out when you wash the garment. I've found that this actually works very well for basting seams where you're working with woven material. So if I'm working with like quilting cotton or cotton voile, anything that is cotton and that's fairly sturdy, I can get away with glue basting the seam. So I actually get these glue bottles off of Amazon. They're pretty cheap as an add-on item. Obviously I shop at Amazon all the time, so I'm a big fan. And I got this little dispensable glue bottle. This is perfect because it lets out a finer stream of glue. I got this at a quilting class, but in the description box below, I've also linked some similar ones. It's for glue, specifically for glue basting. I use this thing literally all the time for pretty much anything I can get away with glue basting. I will totally do it. So it's a good shortcut, very good alternative to pins. So you do not have to pin your seams, you can just glue baste them. Okay, the next item, obviously we all have these in our houses. It is the Lint Roller. You know as well as I do, when you're working in the sewing room, you get thread all over the place, you get stray little fibers. You don't know where they came from, or if you're working with the, I think is the devil of all fabrics, which is minky fabrics, you know cutting into that thing, there's gonna be fibers going all over the place. So I always keep a few lint rollers around just so that I can quickly get thread off or get any sort of stray fibers off. They also works great on carpet if you don't want to vacuum your whole room. You can just sort of lint roll it, but I use these all the time and it's a great tool to have in your sewing room. I usually keep at least 2 of them around, one for one room, one for the other room. And also, of course, you can also use this to delint all of your makes. So this is a great tool that I use all the time. Okay, next up, pressing your fabric. So when I first started sewing, I was using starch, but what I didn't know about using starch is that it attracts bugs. I don't want that. I'm not a big bug fan. So I have used a couple different starch alternatives, and the first is very well known. It's Mary Ellen's Best Press. This stuff, it comes in different colors and different scents, and it'll press your fabric, but it doesn't attract the bugs. So I use this quite often, and it's got soil guard and wrinkle resistor, so that's always a good thing. So I use this all the time. I got this bottle at my local quilt shop, and it's available on Amazon, but you can actually refill it with this huge, I think this is a gallon? Yeah, this is 1 gallon, and I like the scent-free stuff. Typically, I'm not much of a scent girl, but my next item kind of goes against that rule. So I use this. I've had this bottle for about 2 years, and look at, I still have about, I would say I still have about 10 to 15% left of it. Had it for years, and basically I just refill this bottle when it gets low, but this is, again, something I use all the time. This big bottle is $40, which is a great deal. It's available on Amazon, and I love it. I use it for all my pressing needs, because sometimes when you hit your fabric with a little steam, it doesn't always quite get the creases out. So to ensure that I am actually getting a really good press, I will typically use some sort of spray like this. But there's another company that makes a similar product that I do want to talk about, and that is the company Soak. So Soak makes a lot of modern laundry care items, and they were nice enough to gift me some a while back. So this is their flatter spray. This is basically very similar to the Mary Ellen's Best Press, but here's the thing. It smells insanely good. I'm not one for perfume or for candles or anything like that, but this stuff, I don't know what they put in it. It smells like, I can't even describe how awesome it smells. If you're not into scents, you will be, because this stuff just is so intoxicating. This is the scent Fig, and then they also sent me Pineapple Grove. Both just, I don't know, whoever their scentologists are, they're a genius, because I'm not a big fan of anything that's smelly, and I love this stuff. They also have a lot of gift sets, like around Christmas time, they'll have special sets. They also sell kits with like underwear in them and nail polish. So they're good gifts even for someone who does not sew. And they also make a product called Soak, and this is actually a rinse-free detergent. So basically, this is good for any of your delicates if you're making bras, panties, or anything with a very fine fabric if you're knitting. All you do is you take a tub of water, you put a little bit of this in, you put your garment in, and you don't have to agitate it at all. You just have to let it sit there for a little bit, and then the scent will kind of dissipate over time, but it'll help get the dirt out, but also will be very gentle on all your clothing. So I love these products. I've been using them for quite a while, and I use the Soak to wash some of my more delicate things like bras or any sort of blouse that I made that might be from a very fine fabric. So that's another good product to have in your arsenal. So these next two products, I'm all about pressing, obviously. These two are the Clover Hot Hemmer and the Clover Hot Roller Press Perfect. Both of these kind of do the same thing, but they're different sizes. So if you're trying to hem an item, or if you need to, like say you're making a bag and you need to fold over the edge 1 inch, this is a good guide to have, because all you have to do is press your fabric over it and then you just line up the lines. It's super easy. I know some people have made these out of cardboard, but I actually really like these because they're all gridded. So they've got all your measurements on there, and it's also heat proof. So they're safe for ironing. And this, you can even create curves. You can also use these for mitered corners. So I picked these two up a while ago, and I do find that I use them quite frequently. I keep them right next to my iron just in case. All right, next up, this is one of my favorites, and I know it's not a big item. This is actually the Dritz dual purpose marking pen, and I probably have about 10 of these floating around somewhere. Whenever they're on sale, I tend to buy them. I've gotten them from several different sources. I've gotten them from CRAFTSY, I've gotten them from Wawak Sewing, from Amazon, from craft stores. There's usually a sale on them, so a lot of the time you can get these for about $2, but the retail price is $5. So the purple end is air soluble and the blue end is water soluble. And I use the purple end for when I'm making marks, but I don't want them to be there for very long, because the purple side will disappear after like an hour or so. But if I'm marking, like say darts on say a dress or a bodice, I'll typically want those marks there for a while because I don't know when I'm actually going to get around to sewing them. But the blue side will wash out when you launder the item for the first time. So I'll show you a little example. So this is the pressing hand. This will come out. So I will do this if I'm ever, like if I'm making a bag and I need to mark an inch in, or if I'm doing something again, like if I'm marking quilting lines, I use this pen all the time. It's easy to see. Every once in a while you do have to get a new one though, because out over time the marker will start to fade a little bit, but that's why I keep a lot of them around the house. So this is another item that honestly I didn't know I needed, but I use every single day when I'm sewing. So the last items, I know they're already very popular, but I'm a big fan. Of course, Clover Wonder Clips, another alternative to pins. I use these quite frequently when I'm making bags or sewing with glitter vinyl. materials that you can't pin. So I got these originally from Massdrop, but again, you can get all of these products on Amazon. I love the color of these. I thought they were very cute. They also have gridded lines on it, so you can see what's like a 1/4 inch, and I think it goes up to a 1/4 inch. So this is more for fewer layers or for lighter materials. But then I also have this green bag, and this is more your heavy duty Wonder Clips, and I use these a lot for lots of layers. If I'm working for something that is having a hard time stay together, these are more of the heavy duty version of Wonder Clips. So these I use quite frequently. So yeah, those are some of the products I keep in my sewing room. Love them, and they're all listed below in the description box. If you have any questions, let me know. And I also want to know, what is your one must-have item in the sewing room? Do you have one notion that you honestly wouldn't know what you would do without? I want to know in the comments. Also, let me know what you think about these live shows. I've been trying to do them every Sunday. I'm trying to keep them a little bit shorter, so let me know if you like this day and time frame, and also if you would like them, what kind of length would you like these shows, and what kind of topics would you like me to address? I would be happy to get your input because I really enjoy this format and I like talking to all of you guys. So I will see you next time. I'm Jennifer Moore.